aiming to export military supplies to Ukraine, which has entered its third month of conflict. The U.S. Congress has revived the Lend-Lease Act that helped defeat the German dictator in World War II. The U.S. Congress passed the Lend-Lease for Democracy Protection in Ukraine Act of 2022 by a 417-10 margin, 3 weeks after it passed the Senate with unanimous support. The legislation was passed the same day President Joe Biden asked Congress to approve $33 billion for Ukraine, including more than $20 billion for weapons, ammunition, and other military aid. The legislation soon will be handed to Biden for his signature. Today, the Ukrainian people are at the forefront of the fight for democracy and against tyranny, and the U.S. should give them every possible measure of humanitarian and military aid, said Mary Gay Scanlon of the Democratic Party. The bill was first conceived months before the fighting began as a measure to deter a new Russian offensive. Since February 24, it has evolved into an initiative to strengthen Ukraine's military capabilities as well as provide the support NATO allies need in the new context of a major war in the heart of Europe. The revival of the Lend-Lease has enormous historical resonance since the 1941 initiative was the decisive factor that enabled the Allies to win World War II. Stalin himself believed that the Lend-Lease, which benefited Britain, France, China, and the Soviet Union, won the war. What is Lend-Lease? During World War II, the United States began providing significant military supplies and other aid to its allies in September 1940, although it was not involved in the war until December 1941. According to data, much of this aid was delivered to Great Britain and other countries that were already at war with Germany and Japan through a program called Lend-Lease. Throughout World War II, the United States entered into Lend-Lease agreements with more than 30 countries, providing about $50 billion in aid. As Russia's assault on Ukraine continues, this act will help countries affected by Moscow's aggression, such as Poland and others, as well as Ukraine. The act would also allow the United States government to supply equipment to Ukraine now, only with a technical requirement to pay later, essentially giving it to President Vladimir Zelensky's government.